The next question is a new question, and we'll start off with Jack Kimball. Recently, New Hampshire has seen a declining population, particularly college-age students. What would you do to retain the residents that represent assets to creating new and expanding existing businesses in New Hampshire?
Well, one of the things, and most people probably in the audience don't realize, but we have been losing an awful lot of our graduates out of UNH. It's for that past 3 or 4 years. It's terrible. The reason is we don't have the jobs here in the state of New Hampshire that are keeping them and making it attractive for them to stay. So, and I'm a family-oriented guy. I hate to see the kids leave, but sometimes that has to happen. But one of the things that has to happen in the state is making sure that when they do graduate, they've got a job, most of them, if they want it here. And the way to do that also is to have small business people in the community get together and actually focus groups on the types of jobs that they are going to need the students to fill when they graduate. Because a lot of what happens here, there are jobs, but they're not the jobs that the kids want. They're going elsewhere. Years ago, we used to do a good job of this. The market would dictate and say, we need several 100,000 nurses over the next 15 years, or we need X number of engineers, and we would actually educate to that requirement. We don't do that anymore. So that's one of the things we need to do. Get small business people involved heavily into the education process and let people know, so that they will let people know what their demands are going to be in the coming years. The other thing is, I do agree, high-speed internet is critical up in the North Country. We have to have it throughout the state, and you're not going to get the high-tech companies to come up here. So I would really push to get that completed. The other thing I would do, we have to structure some type of incentive, in my view, for the students with respect to keeping them here, even keeping them here for a minimum of 4 to 6 years. If they do stay, they stay probably the rest of their lives. And that might be some type of incentive involving tuition at UNH. But again, I'm not a freebie type of guy, but I'd take a look at something like that and see if we can do it without increasing the cost of government. So those are just some of the things. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. John?
Thank you. A couple weeks ago, I was with about 10 UNH students at UNH, and I put out an idea of what's called the Granite State Scholars Program, and I'll be talking more about that. I was a student at the University of New Hampshire, Whittemore School of Business and Economics. We have a great gem here in our state, the university system. You know, but yet we have one of the highest in-state tuitions in the country. You know, Governor Lynch is on the trustees and has no problem giving $200,000 to professors when they don't work, when they basically go away for the summer, and the trustees $1.3 million of hard-earned taxpayer money to basically do nothing. You know, that's got to change. You know, these students were such great students, and they were talking about all these administrative issues and where we can save. And yes, the university system is doing a lot too to look at efficiencies. I love the issue here in Rochester where we've got energy underground being put at the university system so that during the winter time the university system is heated and we're saving so much money. Use those examples. But the university system has HR, business office functions, all kinds of duplicative functions that they're doing in Concord. I want the reps here that once you get elected, Fenton, we can work together and say, you know what, maybe there's some things we can do in Concord on the HR side and save money in the university system. Because in the end, we need to make college education in this state affordable for our people in New Hampshire. The ones on merit that do really well in certain areas, I want to be able to help those people. And we can do it. We can help those young kids stay in this state. The most important thing that's going to work is cutting taxes on our employer community to help them to come back to New Hampshire or stay so that we can create good quality jobs, not just in the North Country, but all over the state, and fix the regulatory issues that they're seeing and feeling, and cut taxes, and really show them that we care about economic development. That's going to keep the kids here.
Thank you, John. Karen?
Well, I guess I answered the question a little bit ahead of time. But again, we need to find out what the skill sets are that are needed in this state, and then we need to make sure that we incentivize the schools to produce those kinds of skill sets. The other thing I think we need to consider is that we need to make sure that online learning is available at all throughout this state. We talk about the North Country, but some of us forget about the West North, where they can use some internet provision as well. We can run internet over power lines. It's been done in other countries. We could do it here. And make it available so that we have online learning available. The other thing that I think is interesting is that we do not have a problem in our schools with the kids. We can't solve the problem of the kids learning in our schools by making sure that they stay in school until they're 18 or 19 or 20 or whatever age you want to put out there. What we should be doing is getting our government out of the way of parents so that parents can make that decision. Many of our creations, our inventions, etc., over the years has been by people who didn't even graduate from 8th grade in many cases. But it was the parents who made the decision that they had reached the level of skill set attainment or that level of achievement, and they opted their children out, either at 16, sometimes in the 8th grade. That is a parent's decision, that is not the government's decision. I am in favor of doing things like that that will help us. And plus, I think that we also have to figure out an alternative to property tax, because we are driving our young people out of the state because our property taxes are too onerous. And there's got to be a solution to that. We have senior citizens that are also being driven out of their communities because of the onerous property taxes.
Thank you, Karen. Frank?
The Chancellor of the New Hampshire college system, community college system, made last year $333,000 a year. $100,000 was in expenses. I take a strong look at that and say, if you're a businessman, God bless you. You're working for the state. We don't need to pay you that. Plus, I don't think we need to pay you to have a staff, an office, and for you to go dilly-dallying around the country. To keep the people here, when I ran for state representative in Londonderry, I-93 had a 10-year plan. It was in the 30th year. Disgrace. Let's get the highway system working. Where's your money going? It goes into general fund. That's where everybody gets the money for all their perks. Needs to stop. When I wrote the House bill for gaming originally, I didn't want it to go there. The highway system, DOT, all the tolls. What do? They don't pay for the road. The tolls actually lose money. I know, I work there. The RSA covers the tolls by saying the sheds come under DOT and there's federal money there. You didn't see anybody get laid off, did you? That's all federal money. The education system, we need to get people here that want to stay here because they can get to and from. We've got the best breakfast places in the world, the best ice cream. What's wrong that we can't give people a decent job, not something they're making $8 or $9 an hour, and a guy or a girl at DOT is making just a few cents more? It's a disgrace. The other thing, there's lots of students that come here because of the great education system. We know that. And then they vote, and they kill our state with their voting. That needs to be stopped too. But there's things we can do to bring the right people and the right jobs here to get it done.
Thank you, Frank.